there, I'm creative producer for education at the Belgrade Theatre. Over the past couple of weeks, I've been sharing some techniques from theatre and education practice for you to try at home or in your virtual classroom. We've been exploring the story of Frankenstein together, and if you haven't watched the previous videos, it may help for you to start there first. To take part in today's session, you're going to need some sheets of plain paper, felt tips or pens, and electrical or masking tape if you have it. But don't worry if you haven't, you'll be able to improvise with items you have at home. Finally, a quick reminder that you can pause this video at any time while you work on completing the tasks. Last time we explored the character of Victor Frankenstein together. We looked at some of the ways he describes himself and is described by others, and we considered what this tells us about him. I'd like you to take a moment just to remind yourself what you discovered. Good. Today we're going to be exploring a moment at the centre of the story of Frankenstein, the moment when Victor's creation is given life. I think it would help us to experience this moment, but first we'll need to build Victor's workroom. You're going to create this space for yourself at home, and I'll be setting you a series of tasks or questions in order for you to do so. To start, you'll need to mark out the walls of this space. You'll see an example of how to do this on your screen now. If you're using masking or electrical tape, make sure to stick it lightly to the floor. If you're using something else, such as scarves or cushions, you can simply position these to create the outline of the room. Take a moment now to mark out the walls of the room. Finished? Now, I'd like you to look at the outline of the room you've created. These are the walls of Victor's workroom. What colour are they? What condition are they in? Remember, there are no right or wrong answers. This is about your understanding and interpretation. If you can, take a moment to share your thoughts with another person or to consider these questions for yourself. Done? Great. Now, somewhere in this room there is a door. Where is it? Which way does it open? Once you know, take a moment to mark where it is in the workroom. Again, you can use tape or something else. You'll see an example of how to do this on your screen now. All done? What does the door look like? How strong or heavy is it? Can it be locked? And if so, is it ever locked? When? Give yourself a couple of minutes now to consider these questions. Now, there's also a window somewhere in this room. How big is it? Which wall is it on? As you've just done with the door, I'd like you to place it in the room you've created. Take a moment to do that now. Done? Great. I wonder, what can Victor see when he stands at this window? What's outside? What can he hear? Give yourself a couple of minutes to consider these questions. You can start now. Finished? Great. I'd like us to place the objects that belong in this room. I know that there's a mirror somewhere in this workroom. What does it look like? How big is it? Is the design ornate or simple? I'd like you to draw the mirror in Victor's workroom using paper and pens. You'll see an example on your screen. Don't worry about the quality of your drawing. It doesn't need to be perfect. As before, once you're finished, place the mirror where it belongs in the workroom. You can pause the video now. Have you placed the mirror? Good. I wonder what Victor sees when he looks at his reflection. Let's move on to place the furniture. What do you think is in this room? We know that Victor conducts his work here, but where? Is there a table or a desk? And if so, what does it look like? Is there any other furniture here? What is it? Take some time now to draw or mark out the furniture that you see in Victor's workroom. There's an example on your screen now. Give yourself as much time as you need. You can pause the video. Victor's workroom is really starting to take shape now that you've put the furniture in. There are two other items that I'd like you to draw and place in this room. These are Victor's treasured possessions, personal belongings that are important to him. What are they? How did they come into his possession? And when Victor holds each of these objects, what do they remind him? Once you know what these objects are, take a few minutes to draw them and then place them where they belong in the workroom. Pause the video now. Now, take a moment to look again at the workroom. This is the place where Victor spends all of his waking hours, where he engages in his secret toil with hopes of bringing what is dead back to life. One evening in late November, after months of work, Victor finally succeeds. He awakens his creation. And in that moment, something changes. He says, I had deprived myself of rest and health, and now that I had finished, the beauty of the dream vanished, and breathless horror and disgust filled my heart. Breathless horror. I'm going to need your help understanding what happened here. I know that Victor rejects his creation, but I don't know why. I'd like you to find out. I want you to step inside the workroom you've created and experience this moment for yourself. What happens? What does breathless horror and disgust look like? And what does the creation experience when he opens his eyes for the very first time? If you're working with another person, one of you can be Victor and the other his creation. If you're working on your own, you can take turns to be both Victor and then the creation. Remember, you're showing the moment that the creation wakes and is rejected by Victor. Trust your instincts and try to avoid planning what you're going to do. Let yourself experience it. You don't need to speak unless it feels right to do so. Give yourself as much time as you need. You can pause the video now. Finished? Good. What did you experience? How did it feel? If you were Victor, how did you respond when your creation came to life? And if you were the creation, what did you see when you opened your eyes for the very first time? How did it feel to be rejected? Take some time now to reflect on your experiences. Pause the video while you do this. Finished? Good. One final activity. Remembering what you said in session 1 about monster and what it means to be a monster, I wonder, do we see monster anywhere in this moment? Where? Give yourself some time now to consider these questions, and if you can, try to jot down your reflections so that you have them for next time. We'd love to see some of your work in response to today's session. Details on how to share it with us are in the description below. I hope you'll join me next time when we'll be exploring the journey of Victor's creation.